Okay, hello and welcome to my presentation on chapters 13 and 14 of our global business textbook. So as we begin, in chapter 13, the first term that I'm going to expand upon is global virtual team. So a global virtual team is a team who never meets face-to-face, but operates on a virtual basis. Its members usually are spread out around the globe, and it is actually a problem when transferring knowledge, as these teams have to confront large communication and relationship barriers. For example, video conferencing can hardly show your body language, and software can break down and that can leave people out. So I also researched some different types of virtual teams, which differ depending on the lifespan, purpose, and then also roles of the members in the teams. So a few different types I found were networking teams, product development teams, service teams, and also management teams. There's a lot more, but those were the ones I decided to include in this presentation. And lastly, I wanted to discuss the impact of the coronavirus on global virtual teams, because with social distancing and many having to work from home, the number of global virtual teams has probably increased a lot. So now we have to kind of ask ourselves, like, what kind of lasting impact is this going to leave? Because some people now want to transition to full-time working from home, now that they know that it's possible for their company. But as the book said, we know that it is also less effective. So where do we or our companies draw the line, and what is the future for global virtual teams? So those are things that we have to start asking ourselves now. The next term, excuse me, from chapter 13, I wanted to expand upon is both explicit and tacit knowledge. So explicit knowledge is knowledge that is codifiable, which means it's easy to articulate and explain, and it's also easy to record and communicate and also store, which is very important. So for example, a business, in a business, um, your company data, your white papers, your research reports, all of those type of things are explicit company knowledge. So easy, again, to articulate, record, communicate, and store. On the other hand, tacit knowledge is knowledge that is non-codifiable. And to get that knowledge, you really need hands-on learning experience. This type of knowledge is kind of more important because it's a little bit harder to transfer and learn. An example of this type of knowledge would be a sales representative who they can give a great demo, which might be explicit knowledge, but they also have learned those specific buying signs when talking to prospects. So they kind of know like the ins of the industry. So moving on to chapter 14, marketing mix. This can be found on page 459 in the textbook and consists of the four underlying components of marketing, which are product, price, promotion, and place. A product is the offerings that customers purchase, and though products originally referred to just the physical product, now in modern times it is began to expand also into services, such as maintenance and upgrades for those products that you buy. An example of a product could be probably almost anything, but the ones that the book gives are a sports car and also a woman's dress. So those are type of products. Second, we have price, and which is the amount of money a customer will pay for a product. And also when talking about price, it's important to know the term price elasticity, which is how demand changes also when the price changes. And another term to note is total cost of ownership, which is the total cost needed to own a product that's going to affect the price. Next, promotion refers to all the communications that marketers insert into the marketplace. So promotion might include TV, radio, print, online ads, also in addition to coupons, direct mail, or even billboards. So promotion can either be standardized or personalized. And with the collection and prevalence of companies nowadays buying your data, we're getting to see ads be more personalized, especially online, because they have our data. And lastly, place. That is the location where products and services are provided, which also nowadays would include the online marketplace. Um, Place is also now referred to as like the distribution channel, which are the firms that facilitate the movement of goods from the products to the consumers. And now, even more recently, the term supply chain has replaced that term distribution channel. And that's actually what I'm going to start talking about next. So, a supply chain is the flow of products, services, money, and information that passes through firms and organizations, starting from the source, getting all the way to the consumer. So, you can see a common supply chain example here in this diagram. And after applying this term to current events, I can really see how the coronavirus is disrupting the supply chain. As I read articles about farmers dumping milk or onions, um, and other things, because with the closing of restaurants, which would be the retailers in this graphic, that disrupts the supply chain, in addition to the fact that if the farmers wanted to give away their raw materials so they wouldn't go to waste, they can't even get it to the city because all of the trucks are already in use. Being Other things need to be distributed, more people are buying things online, and that kind of stuff. So the distributor is also taken out of the supply chain in this example. And this was just one way that I saw the coronavirus affecting the supply chain. I'm sure there are many other ways, not just within our own country, like the example that I gave of farmers dumping things, but also in the role of like the international borders. Like when at first China got the virus, the U.S. stopped buying things from them, and so a lot of their plants closed there. So that is another way that the supply chain is being distributed or disrupted at this time. So that is all for my presentation for today. So I hope you enjoyed and have a wonderful day.